2nd of August 2024. Stay there. My name is Idrissa Mwongi. It is time for BTM News. Today, let's first take a look at the headlines. Coming up tonight, the Minister of ICT, in conjunction with the Sustainable Impact Alliance Solutions, CS Uganda, has today launched an application dubbed Rewards for Education, aimed at boosting education in the country.
Different level of rewards. For example, you go to school, for example, 3 days. You on the platform, you know that I've earned 5 points, I can redeem them and get a ball. I go to school for 3 months, I can claim my points that I have accumulated and get a scholarship.
And the movers and seconders of the motion seeking to impeach 4 commissioners of Parliament have announced that they are set to serve a notice to the Speaker of Parliament and its among through the Clerk of Parliament on Monday, 5th August 2024.
Rules provide for 14 days. 14 days within which the Speaker has to convene Parliament, whether we are on recess, whether members have gone where, but the activity of presenting a motion shall be within 14 days.
And people living with HIV/AIDS have challenged the policymakers to address the loopholes in the HIV Control Act to combat challenges faced by the community.
Well, of course, it's looking at the angle of stigma and discrimination. Then we have HIV criminalization.
Board. Now let's start with this. The Minister of ICT, in conjunction with the Sustainable Impact Alliance Solutions, CS Uganda, has today launched an application dubbed Rewards for Education, aimed at boosting education in the country by reducing school dropout rates. Now, according to Dr. Biamoka Mahenry, the CEO of CS Uganda, once a student is logged into the app, he or she earns points for each day they attend class, and the points can be redeemed for either scholarships or gifts. Take a look.
Various stakeholders in ICT and education graced the launch from within and outside the country.
So this reward for education aims to make education more accessible and effective, addressing many traditional barriers. So education is key to development. With the right technological tools, we can foster innovation and teamwork, driving sustainable growth.
As Uganda is one of the youngest countries in the world, more than 80% of Uganda's population is aged below the 35. So when we create such opportunities, Brent, we are shaping the present but also the future of the country. So we're one of the youngest, and we need this more than ever, Brent. The government is doing a lot, but the dropout rate remains high. So this is going to be part of our added value efforts and innovations to keep more of our people in school.
Government officials and members of Parliament led by the Minister for ICT, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi and Godfrey Kabyanga Baluku, were also present to witness the launch of the app, believed by many to be the game changer in the education sector.
And you know anything that adds value to this country. And once I'm given an opportunity, you will see me do what I'm supposed to do. That is why I had to support you. So I want these people to once again appreciate you and thank you for what you have done.
The only thing why I survive is because I'm educated. I don't have land. No. The only thing I'm what? Educated. So when I earn, I treat myself. When I earn, I buy what? Food.
Shortly after the launch, Dr. Henry Byamukama, the CEO of CS Uganda, revealed that besides various rewards, the app will majorly reward attendance and performance.
Different level of rewards. For example, you go to school, for example, 3 days. You on the platform, you know that I've earned 5 points, I can redeem them and get a ball. I go to school for 3 months, I can claim my points that I have accumulated and get a scholarship. Or I go for 1 year, I can get a trip to Dubai. with my family. So it's different level of rewards according to attendance and performance. We are rewarding attendance, we are rewarding performance, but this attendance and performance is digitalized.
Henry has mentioned is the DocuLocker aspect of it. Our program and our platform is set up so that we can take it really anywhere, and it'll be specific to what the needs of, let's say, the country may be. So in Uganda, we know that there's an issue with the digitizing of these documents and people being able to have their documents quickly and readily available to them. So through CS Uganda and Coins for College, and we came to an agreement and figured out a way to solve that problem, is basically what we did.
Uganda, being largely a young country, grapples with high levels of school dropout, standing tall at 45% and 30% for primary. Dr. Byamukama says the Rewards for Education app sets out to give school children a reason to stay in school.
For Impact Alliance Solutions, we have the Rewards for Education. To summarize the Rewards for Education, it is digitalize and give rewards for kids to incentivize them to be in school or to study.
He further says the platform intends to create a merit-based society, mitigating challenges like corruption, bureaucracy, and fraud.
It's at all levels of education, because even myself, I was enrolling for my master's in law, and I needed to access my documentation. I had to drive to Tororo, St. Peter's College, Tororo, get my document. It was not easy. I had to come back, go to UNEP, go to Makerere. So we have removed all those bottlenecks with a one-stop center. So it is not just for any particular level, from bottom up, from the least to the top. Because also one other thing important is that your information, you're going to have your information secure at every level.
The Minister for ICT, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, welcomed the idea and commended Dr. Byamukama for the initiative, which resonates with the changing education system.
So I am happy that we'll be discussing issues of education, and part of the issues we are discussing is how to digitize the education processes. So we fully support the efforts behind this discussion, supporting the education sector. As a ministry, we are a ministry that is a facilitating ministry, because we support and facilitate the other sectors and departments of government.
The minister expressed the government's commitment to increase internet access in remote areas, as well as cutting internet prices.
Because technology now is central, it is what is driving development, it is what is driving transformation, and therefore we have no option but to embrace technology and all the advances in technology in order for us to catch up and move with the rest of the world. So here in Uganda, we are challenged that we should not only move fast, but we should run so that we catch up with the rest. We usually talk of...
Amidst Uganda's struggle with high school dropout rates and efforts to address the issue, the launch of the Reward for Education app offers a flash of hope for a solution. John William Ogenda, Freddie Chris Chisawo for BTM News Today.
Wonderful initiative there. I hope it will boost the education in our country, Uganda. Now moving on, the movers and seconders of the motion seeking to impeach the 4 commissioners of Parliament have announced that they are set to serve a notice to the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, through the Clerk of Parliament on Monday, 5th August 2024. Now this follows the realization of the 177 mark required signatures. Theodore Sechkubo, who is the lead mover of the motion, says that after serving the Speaker with the notice, the rule provides for 14 days within which the Speaker has to convene Parliament. Take a look.
According to the Lwemiyaga County legislator Theodore Sechkubo, the realization of the required number of signatures is a sign that there are members of Parliament who are committed to cleansing Parliament of corruption.
I'm glad we got all the signatures, and what has been rumored that this would not be possible has now finally come to a conclusion.
Sechkubo, who was speaking to the press at Parliament, announced that now that they have the required number of signatures to table the motion, He and his team are set to serve the Speaker through the House Clerk with a notice at 2 p.m. on Monday, the 5th of August, 2024.
That we've gotten all it takes. But now it is important to tell what comes next, what is happening next. We have already gotten and put everything in place. The motion is in place. The evidence to be attached to the motion is in place. The signatures of members of parliament supporting the motion has overshot the legendary 177, actually 76, but have overshot the 177 by more than 10 signatures.
The rules of procedure of Parliament provides for 14 days within which the Speaker has to convene Parliament. Sechikubo says this being a public interest matter, the Speaker should handle it with urgency.
Rules provide for 14 days. 14 days within which the Speaker has to convene Parliament, whether we are on recess, whether members have gone where, but the activity of presenting a motion shall be within 14 days. We want to urge the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Anita Among, not to wait for the 14 days. This is a matter that is so urgent. This is the matter that is so critical that we don't expect any further delay of 14 days.
The movers of the motion did not hold back on revealing districts and constituencies whose representatives refused or failed to append their signatures.
We are teaching children. We write, she has tried. Others get 9s, F9. Here we are with our districts, Chotera district, F9. No members signed. Ruero, Rengo, F9. Diantonde, workers MPs, only one. With all the challenges we have with workers. UPDF, 0. 0. And they are mandated to vote because they are voted by soldiers. But they are going to say that they are fighting corruption.
Joseph Sewungu, a member of parliament for Kalungu County, lashed out at fellow legislators who they have accused of having plans to sabotage their efforts.
We have every information that goes around in this institution. Whenever our friends said, we don't know how to read. Now, if you are a member of parliament and you are elected, like Sewungu and any other members before us here, how do you state, how do you accept members to belittle you, to abuse you, that you don't know how to read? We who don't know how to read have got signatures. Those who read and confirm that they got money, they are still hiding. They are ever sitting in cocoons, left and center, to see how they can manipulate their survival on this matter. But I can assure you, whatever you do, less than 10 minutes after your meeting, we get everything on this table.
Yes.
We get everything.
Yes.
Whenever you meet, the legal committee was sitting to see how they can patch up everything. We have them. The co-chairman budget, we have whatever they are doing. Wherever they sit, we get information. And even when they are in their beds dreaming about how we are going to censure them, we get the information that they are dreaming.
The Kalungu County legislator further alleges that those at the far front of sabotaging their motion are fellow opposition lawmakers. Sewungu vows to expose them.
You are calling the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to manipulate the minutes, to doctor the reports.
Why don't you resign?
No.
And what's funny is that those heading such arrangements are the opposition members, some of them. They belong to us, but we shall expose them. We shall expose them. We just have a contract of 5 years here. Once it expires, I can either return or not return, but my record and my face must remain shoulder high. Because you fear somebody. And you think, Sewungu Joseph Gonzaga Katamba from Kalungu West, can he be intimidated because he's fighting corruption in an institution where he came clean? You want me to leave this place when I'm dirty, filthy? I can't.
John William Ogenda, Ibrahim Kavuma for BTM News Today.
Moving on, people living with HIV/AIDS have challenged the policy makers to address the loopholes in the HIV Control Act to combat challenges faced by the community. Now, according to an advocate, Angel Chakunzire, a 31-year-old has been living with HIV since birth. The move will curb the challenge of stigma under the new vulnerability syndrome. Chakunzire was interacting with our reporter earlier today. Take a look.
Uganda has long had a global success story in the fight against HIV and AIDS since the first case was discovered along the shores of Lake Victoria in the early 1990s. According to statistics from the Ministry of Health 2022, 1,000 new infections are registered, with women taking the highest rate at 6.5%. Young adolescents, especially the girl child, have been consistently continuing to be disproportionately affected, accounting for 36% of all new HIV infections. However, the HIV community is challenged with various issues, including self-stigma and the new vulnerability syndrome.
Together in this relationship, and this is something I discovered and I called the HIV vulnerability syndrome. It is on a hike, it is growing. I have had several interactions with many young women at an age of, being in a relationship, at an age of wanting to get into marriage, and very many are complaining, especially with the boys, the men, are going through it too much.
Vulnerable syndrome describes a phenomenon in which a child is perceived as being at a higher risk for medical, behavioral, or developmental problems than is warranted by the child's current health. Angel Chakunzire, a 31-year-old who has lived with HIV since birth, says there is a need for the policymakers to address the gaps in the HIV Control Act to address the challenges that come along with the disease.
First of all, as people living with HIV, how are we being denied rights? First of all, of course, looking at the angle of stigma and discrimination, then we have HIV criminalization. This one where we have had clauses in the Prevention and Control, HIV Prevention and Control Act. Some of the clauses around Section 18 and more others that I'll not dive into on this issue of HIV criminalization, specifically in those clauses under the Prevention and Control Act.
Many people living with HIV/AIDS fear disclosing their status due to the consequences that come along. But for Chakunzire, it is a different story, noting that the day she disclosed her status became the genesis of her life changing.
Sometimes you might be, for example, in a relationship, someone does not know your status, and you're scared to disclose. Of course, at some point I would blame the person living with HIV. But there are also cases that we have found where someone is aware of your status. They know you're HIV positive, but this person is using it as a blackmail into a club. Because all these years below, I was not social, I was a loner, I was just by myself. Like, all I was thinking about is death. And in senior 5, I got a conviction to join a club, but I wanted a club in relation to humanity. And definitely that was Red Cross for me. I joined Red Cross, and someone who was the leader by then saw a potential in me. The way I used to do my things were really humanity attached. So she was like, I think you need to be our next president when I am out of this. And the way I entered into that whole picture, I was just nominated.
Among Uganda's Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030 is to end HIV/AIDS prevalence in the country. Naguja Serena, Josephine Kim Motesi, BTM News Today.
All legislators have commended the outgoing World Health Organization Country Director, Dr. Jonas Tegegen Woldemariam, for his role in the fight against COVID-19 and Ebola epidemics. Now, in his communication in the House, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, said that Dr. Walda Mariam played a critical role in supporting Uganda's health infrastructure over the last 6 years.
He's ending his tour of duty, and he ended it yesterday, the tour of duty, but he has been in Uganda since 2018.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has said the outgoing WHO representative contribution in fighting COVID-19, Ebola, malaria and HIV, among other diseases, has gone a long way in ensuring improved health care for Ugandans.
The time when they announced the first case of COVID, he was standing by the Minister of Health, and all the COVID briefings and all interventions to do with fighting COVID, he was at the center. He played a very, very critical role. He has played a very, very critical role in supporting our health infrastructure. I had a long talk with him. Some of the issues I will share with the Committee on Health on how best we can improve our health sector. And Your Excellency, we thank you so much for the good service you rendered to our people of Uganda and the continent at large. He fought COVID, he fought Ebola, he fought all these pandemics on top of malaria, HIV, and all other problems.
The chairperson of the Health Committee, Honorable Samuel Opio, said Walda Mariam's role in supporting Uganda's fight against Ebola enabled the country to be declared Ebola-free in 2022, having contained it within 69 days.
The Ebola outbreak in 2019, he was at the center of partnering with Ministry of Health, and Uganda was declared Ebola-free. Secondly, he was also at the center of the COVID-19 outbreak. In 2022, we also had the Ebola outbreak. And I want to state that within 69 days, Uganda was able to contain the Ebola outbreak. And that was the first record set in the whole world in the containment of Ebola outbreak itself.
He adds that during his tenure, Uganda received commendation for its containment of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Even in COVID-19, the Lancet declared Uganda as having the best emergency and pandemic response in containing the COVID-19 pandemic virus. So whereas we were on lockdown, he was able to lock down the virus.
Honorable Sarah Pendi, the Tororo District Woman Representative, said Walda Mariam started his tour of duty in Uganda in 2018 when she served as the State Minister for Health, noting that they worked closely to ensure strong health systems, especially in improving laboratories.
Work that he has done in this country. He came to the country in January 2018, and I was still then Minister of State in the health sector, and we worked closely together to ensure that we have in place a strong health system, but also ensuring that in looking at the health system, particularly the outbreaks, we strongly take the advice of WHO to improve on the laboratories. But generally, Right Honorable Speaker, WHO is a key partner of the health sector in the country and does support the health sector, particularly giving technical support. And Dr. Yunus, you have not just been a country representative, you have actually been giving the technical guidance to the Ministry of Health, and we want to thank you for working with them.
From that, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni met with Gabon's transitional president, Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema, on Thursday at State House in Entebbe. Nguema is in Uganda for a 2-day official visit at the invitation of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and he was accompanied by the First Lady of Gabon, Zita Oligui Nguema, and other high-ranking officials. Take a look.
During their discussions, President Nguema briefed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on the political situation in Gabon, emphasizing the progress of the transition timetable, including the forthcoming referendum.
It's great pleasure for me being here and have an interaction with somebody that I admire very much.
Notamment pour votre pragmatisme.
Notably for your pragmatism.
Et pour votre patriotisme.
And your patriotism.
Pour la petite histoire.
Let me tell you a little story.
Vous m'avez parlé d'Omar Bongo Ondimba.
You talked about Omar Bongo Ondimba.
Museveni, accompanied by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, commended Nguema for the steps taken by the transitional government towards restoring constitutional democracy in Gabon.
So I think some of these crises we are having in Africa are really due to that lack of harmonization of thinking. Some of the cases are very clear. Like Sudan, for instance, Sudan has been destroyed by the wrong ideology. The ideology of identity.
The two leaders welcomed efforts to enhance bilateral cooperation between their countries and expressed a mutual desire to intensify collaboration for the benefit of their people. They also shared a commitment to expanding cooperation in various sectors. President Nguema also expressed his country's desire to reduce reliance on food imports and expressed interest in learning from Uganda's agricultural development programs, particularly in wealth creation.
I can tell you that I've known you since Omar Bongo Ondimba.
Je pense que vous pouvez être aujourd'hui le leader pour incarner à cette génération de jeunes chefs d'État.
I think that today you can be the leader to give the way, to show the way to this new generation of heads of state. To demonstrate patriotism.
The leaders exchanged views on various regional, continental, and international issues of mutual interest and concern. President Nguema thanked President Museveni for the warm welcome and hospitality extended to him and his delegation. He also invited Museveni to pay a state visit to the Gabon's republic with a date to be agreed upon through diplomatic channels. BTM News today.
From that, one person has died in a fire incident and left another injured last night. Now, the incident occurred last night in Kai Zone, Nabore Division, in Wakiso District at the home of Ikwaru Martin, a 28-year-old army officer. ASP Luke O.A.C. Sijira, the Deputy Public Relations Officer at the Kampala Metropolitan Police, confirmed this development.
The Territorial Police in Kawempe are investigating a tragic incident of arson that occurred on the 1st August 2024 at approximately 11 p.m. in Kai Zone, Naweru Division, Wakiso District. The incident took place at the home of Ikwaru Martin, 28 years of age, an army officer. The fire resulted in the death of Onam Emmanuel, a 1-year and 2-month-old boy, who was the son of Ikwaru. Another child, Anne was Elizabeth, a 3-year-old girl, sustained serious injuries and is currently receiving treatment at Kirudu Hospital. According to Ikwaru Martin, he discovered the fire at around 11:45 p.m. when he and his wife stepped out to take a shower and noticed flames coming from the house. Upon rushing inside, he found his bedroom ablaze. Although he managed to rescue his children, Madame Emmanuel was tragically confirmed dead at the scene due to suspected suffocation and burns. The Territorial Police in Kawempe, along with experts from the Fire Prevention and Rescue Services, responded promptly and successfully extinguished the fire. During the investigation, crime scene investigators recovered a matchbox, a small plastic container suspected to contain kerosene. These items have been submitted for forensic analysis. As part of the ongoing investigation, the police have arrested one suspect, Adu Deborah, 25, as the ex-wife of Ikwaru Martin, whom he separated from a week ago. She has been detained to aid in the inquiry. We strongly condemn any act of violence that leads to the death and injury of innocent individuals and are committed to thoroughly investigating this matter to determine the exact cause of the fire. Further details will be provided as they become available.
That Bishop Isaac Niringi, who previously served as an assistant bishop of the Diocese of Kampala, was attacked by unknown thugs in Ntinda in Kampala. Niringi was having a morning jog when a man on a motorcycle hit him on the back of his head. The blow sent Niringi, a 70-year-old, hurting the ground. Take a look.
Police at Ntinda Post are investigating circumstances under which retired Bishop Zach Nilingiye was attacked while jogging in Ntinda. The Deputy Police Spokesperson Kampala Metropolitan Luke Owesjire confirms that involvement.
The police at Ntinda are currently investigating a robbery incident that took place on the 29th of July 2024. It has been reported that retired Bishop Zach David Nilingiye, a resident of Chimera Road, Village 12, Ntinda Parish in Kampala, was attacked while on his midday jog. It is alleged that as Bishop Nilingiye approached Commercial Road near Rockview Hotel, he was accosted by individuals on a motorcycle. The assailants allegedly struck him with a blunt object, causing him to lose consciousness and fell to the ground. During this attack, his phone, an iPhone 13 Pro Max, was stolen. The victim was promptly provided with first aid at the nearest clinic and has since been discharged. Efforts to apprehend the suspects are ongoing, and we are working diligently to bring those responsible to justice. We will continue to provide updates as more information becomes available.
Niringiye holds a PhD in theology and mission history from the University of Edinburgh, UK, and MA in theology from Wheaton College, USA, as well as physics honors degree and teaching diploma from Mackay University, Uganda. He is a leader with national and international acclaim and has experience as a church leader, theologian, peace and social justice activist, and an organizational development consultant. He retired as assistant bishop to engage in full-time civic political activism in Uganda. He is married to Theodora and they have 3 children. This isn't the first time that Bishop Niringiye has been attacked in this fashion. Back in 2021, he was hit on the head with a brick by robbers in Ntinda. At the time, he was having an evening stroll near Legacy Courts in Ntinda. The assailants made off with his phone. BTM News Today.
Very sad incident there on the Man of God. Well, let's now dive into our BTM Health segment. And in BTM Health today, we are looking at grapeseed oil for hair. Take a look, listen and learn.
These are some of the health benefits of grapeseed oil. Choosing grapeseed oil for hair enhancement can be the best choice. Grapeseed oil has the properties and ingredients beneficial for hair, and they are a rich source of vitamin E. Grapeseed oil is a natural carrier oil derived from cold pressing the grape seed and squeezing the oil from the seeds mechanically. This cold-pressed oil contains all essential nutrients and benefits hair as there is no solvent residue. Applying this hair oil can deeply nourish hair and make it strong. The top 7 benefits. These are the top 7 benefits of choosing grapeseed oil for hair. Grapeseed oil locks the moisture in your hair and scalp without weighing down the hair strands. It does not make hair oily but prevents the dry hair. One can only use this carrier oil as a conditioner to nourish their hair. It contains a high amounts of linoleic acid, which makes the oil a good sealant for hair. Using grapeseed oil for hair can promote hair growth because it contains flavonoids, vitamin E, linoleic acid. Thus, applying this carrier oil on the scalp can increase the hair length and thickness. Grapeseed oil also has essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins that can help to improve the condition of your scalp and encourage new hair growth. One of the main benefits of using grapeseed oil for hair loss is that it can help to increase hair health. Grapeseed oil helps to increase circulation in your scalp, which can bring in new blood and nutrients into your follicles. It can help to promote hair growth and prevent hair loss from occurring. Grapeseed oil also benefits the hair by decreasing the split ends and rough hair. It's an effective treatment for dry, brittle hair and split ends. This natural carrier oil has linoleic acid and coats the surface of the hair cuticles and prevents them from damage, hence reducing the risk of split ends. Grapeseed oil has anti-inflammatory properties which can help to decrease inflammation in your scalp. It will help to reduce the chances of developing conditions like dandruff or scalp psoriasis. The oil is a natural source of sebum production inhibition. It can help to decrease the amount of sebum produced on your scalp. Grapeseed oil locks the moisture in your hair and prevents dryness, thus massaging it on the scalp, and the hair strands twice a week can make your hair soft and smooth. It also makes your hair frizz-free. The natural carrier oil also has proliferative properties which help in cell regeneration and strengthen your hair. Massaging grapeseed oil on the scalp increases blood circulation and stimulates hair follicles. Due to this, the hair roots get strong and result in reduced hair fall. Grapeseed oil can help to boost the hair growth and rejuvenate the scalp. BTM Health for BTM News Today.
Will consider using that on my hair. Probably will look much more better. Let's now take a look at what we have for you in the news bites.
We have every information that goes around in this institution. Whenever our friends said, we don't know how to read. Now, if you are a member of parliament and you are elected, like Seung and any other members before us here, how do you state? How do you accept members to belittle you, to abuse you, that you don't know how to read? We who don't know how to read have got signatures. Those who read and confirm that they got money, they are still hiding. They are ever sitting in cocoons, left and center, to see how they can manipulate their survival on this matter. But I can assure you, whatever you do, less than 10 minutes after your meeting, we get everything on this table. Yes. We get everything. Yes. Whenever you meet, the legal committee was sitting to see how they can patch up everything. We have them. The co-chairman budget, we have whatever they are doing. Wherever they sit, we get information. And even when they are in their beds dreaming about how we are going to censure them, we get the information that they are dreaming.
You are calling the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to manipulate the minutes, to doctor the reports. No.
And what's funny is that those heading such arrangements are the opposition members, some of them. They belong to us, but we shall expose them. We shall expose them. We just have a contract of 5 years here. Once it expires, I can either return or not return, but my record and my face must remain shoulder high. Because you fear somebody. And you think, Seung Joseph Gonzaga Katamba from Karungu West, can he be intimidated because he's fighting corruption in an institution where he came clean? You want me to leave this place when I'm dirty, filthy? I can't.
To begin with is self-stigma. That self-stigma, self-pity, self-neglect, those are usually the first things. Before even someone else identifies you to be living with HIV, it's you yourself, you begin positions that it brings us to. So these two, sometimes you might be, for example, in a relationship, someone does not know your status and you're scared to disclose. Of course, at some point I would blame the person living with HIV. But there are also cases that we have found where someone is aware of your status. They know you're HIV positive, but this person is using it as a blackmail. They get into a relationship with you and probably have sex. And then this person will appeal to court for intentional transmission. You can come with a bad intention, but also someone living negative can also sabotage.
Thank you for watching BTM News today. Now we are taking a break, but don't go away because we'll have a lot coming your way, including this. Still to come, the Rwenzururu King Omusinga Charles Wesley Mumbere Iremangoma has asked the business fraternity to partner with the culture institution in an attempt to realize development.
Business here.
More than 10,000 people have been affected by massive landslides across parts of the southern Indian state of Kerala.
Amannya gange mpitibwa Sulaina Nakachwa nga nkola ne BF Suma. Abaami batawanyizibwa obulwadde bwa prostate, tujjanjaba obulwadde bwa prostate enlargement. Otegeera otya ng'olina obulwadde bwa prostate? Okubeera ng'ofuka olumizibwa, okulumizibwa wansi w'olubuto, okufuka omusulo nga gulimu olusaayisaayi, okulumizibwa omugongo, Expowerman capsules kyekuyamba okubeera ng'otambula bulungi mu kisenge. Kugamba amaka ne gabeera nga masanyufu. Expowerman coffee naye kuyambako. Tulina product ez'enjawulo kwega zijjanjaba obulwadde bwonna obw'enjawulo. Nti omuntu yenna ali eyo bw'obeera n'obulwadde obukusumbuwa, nkubirako namba zange ez'essimu onyinyonnyole oba ojje tukwataganye. Tulinawo ne badokita ab'enjawulo. Tulina obujjanjabi obulungi. BF Suma yatuleetera product ennungi ziri nakyo 100% tezirina buzibu bwonna. Tulina branch nyingi naye nze ndi wano ku Mabirizi. Osanga discount ennungi gye bampa okusobola okutuusaako abantu bange product zonna bonna basobola ozikozesa. Tukola ne delivery bw'oba tosobodde kujja. Ennamba z'essimu eri 0758 69 29 61.
Brighter life, better future.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching BTM News today with me, Idrissa Mwonge. We come live to you from Kampala Road here in Toban Center, where we are based. Now moving on, the Rwenzururu King Omusinga Charles Wesley Mumbere Iremangoma has asked the business fraternity to partner with the culture institution in an attempt to realize development. The Omusinga made the remarks while addressing the members of the business community from the entire kingdom at a Rwenzori International Hotel in Kasese town. Take a look.
The king, who described business as key as far as development is concerned, observed the need for the businessmen and women to work together with the kingdom for the development of Rwenzururu.
Business here. Please,
The Omusinga wa Rwenzururu King Charles Mumbere applauded the business fraternity for their unity and support of the cultural institution. The Omusinga Finance Minister Honorable Patrick Baluku observed need for the businessmen and women to attend budget conferences so that they also take part in the planning process.
The business community are a key ally. They are people with money, the people who deal with money. So, and we are looking for money to rebuild ourselves as OBN. So really we start with those. Before we go to the rural population there, we need to start with these ones around town. We engage them. They get on the institution, the cultural institution. Then willingly they start supporting it financially.
The business community asked Omusinga to lobby for them a special fund that they can borrow and pay at an affordable interest.
When it comes to trading normal products or user products, what we produce in crops, what we plant, we act as Kasese team. Is we in Kasese now, wherever we go to the market, and many crops are lacking market. So if the Musinga can truly look at how best we can have market for these crops, I'm very sure the economy of the environment, more especially in Kasese, is going to be enhanced.
The Obsinga Warren's Rural Prime Minister, Right Honorable Joseph Kule Mulanga, applauded the business fraternity for their unity and support of the crucial institution. The Kasese District Commercial Officer, Simon Kasereka, observed the need for businessmen and women to attend budget conferences so that they also take part in the planning process.
And now it's time for the fact file. And in fact file tonight, we're looking at the State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Balaam Balgahara.
Balaam Balgahara Atengi, commonly known as Balaam, is a Ugandan politician, businessman, music and events promoter. He is the State Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development in charge of Children and Youth Affairs. Balaam is also the CEO of Balaam Group of Companies, a conglomerate operating in Uganda and South Sudan, and his investments are mainly in areas of entertainment, broadcasting, real estate, manufacturing, hotels and resorts. Balaam was born on 28 July 1979 to the late engineer David Balaam Biancha of Kijura Masini District and Gladys Biancha Aboli of Kalisizo District in central Uganda. His father Davidson Balaam Biancha passed away in 1991 when he was still a young boy. Balaam attended Namasagali School, St. John Bosco Senior Secondary School, which was originally a progressive senior secondary school for A-level. He enrolled at Makerere University for Bachelors of Commerce, where he majored in marketing. After, he did a Masters of Business Administration at Cavendish University. Balaam is the proprietor and the owner of Original Best Water Company based in South Sudan, Radio 1 in Southern Sudan, the first privately owned media house he started in 2009. He is also the proprietor and the managing director of Radio 4, Radio 7, Radio 8 in Masaka, and Radio 8 in Mountain Region, and the M10 Uganda distributor of Chigezi sub-region. Balaam is a real estate developer with hotels in Kampala, South Sudan, including a 5-star hotel in Masindi, which was commissioned by the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He was appointed by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the State Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development in charge of Children and Youth Affairs. He has 13 siblings and he is the 5th child. His late father had 14 children. Balaam is the father to Benta Karuhanga Boli, Biden Kamsima Mote, Benan Kamkama Kiki, and Banet Musima Motsi. He lost his first son to cancer in 2013. Fact file.
His transformation is inspirational, isn't it? It is, I'm sure.